One of the things that I'm most grateful for was my ability to not care what people thought about me when it mattered most, okay? And this is coming from a woman who used to really care what people thought. I am 35 and I spent my entire 20s caring what people thought about me, but it wasn't until I quit my 9 to 5 and decided to work for myself where all of that went right out the window. If you're new here, hello, my name is Jasmine, and in this video I want to talk to you guys about why I quit my 9 to 5 and if it was the best thing I ever did. Yes. To answer that question, yes, it was by far the best decision I ever made for myself. I knew probably year 2 into my 9 to 5 that I hated, that I couldn't work for anyone else. And I went to college and I thought I was going to get a good job with benefits and stability, and I was just going to live this American dream and everything was going to be so hot, happy and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, well, after I got that full-time job, 2 years in, I was like, oh no, this ain't for me. And I must have been about 25. I was like, this ain't for me. This ain't gonna work out. I gotta do my own thing. I can't have people telling me what to do. I'm not cut out for this. And I had tried so many business ideas before I landed on what I landed on. So during COVID, 2020, that's when I heard people talking about OnlyFans and women making so much money on there and you don't need any money to start. And so I signed up and it's been smooth sailing from there. Now, I didn't tell people that I was going to quit my job when I quit my job. Like, people knew I hated it, right? That was not a secret. My mom knew, my friends knew, everyone knew I hated my job, but I never like told anyone like, hey, I'm about to put in my 2-week notice on this day. Like, I never did that, right? And I put in my 2-week notice. I already had my OnlyFans account. I wasn't making any money on it, but I already had the account. The country was shut down. I put in my 2-week notice and I was out the door. Now, I'm so happy that it was those moments when I stopped caring, because just imagine if I still cared what people thought about me, I probably would have never quit. I probably would have never even started an OnlyFans to begin with. And 9 times out of 10, I probably would have still been at that job, because that job was the type of job that never fired anyone. Like, there are very few jobs like that. They'll just make you miserable, but they never fired you. They'll write you up a million times, right? They'll tolerate your BS. They'll bitch about it. They'll put it on your little annual report, right? But they don't fire you. People would start that job fresh out of college, like how I did, and they would retire there. Okay, it was one of those type of jobs. Like, it was very, very, very stable, and it was in healthcare, so they never laid off. They didn't fire anyone. Like, once you kind of had that job, you were pretty much set, right? But I was so miserable. I hated management. I hated the inequality. Like, I just hated everything about it, right? And I'm not gonna lie, when I told people that I quit, nobody was in support. Okay, and it wasn't even the fact that I did OnlyFans. I mean, that too, but most people were just on some, so how are you gonna get health insurance? How are you gonna save for retirement? That's a good job. They pay you $60,000 a year. Why would you do that? It was more about the benefits of the job than my happiness being at that job that people cared about. And crazy thing is, you can find those benefits anywhere, okay? A lot of full-time jobs give health insurance. A lot of full-time jobs give 401k matching, right? A lot of full-time jobs give you PTO. It was nothing that that job was giving that I couldn't find anywhere else. But that's all people cared about when I told them that I quit. And I'm telling you this because you're the only one that knows what's right for your life. And listen, you're not going to always make the right decision. Don't pressure yourself so much. I think we can get really, we hyper focus on making sure that we're making the right decision. But in the process of hyper focusing on making the right decision, you end up making the wrong one. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself. Deep down inside, you know what you should do. You may not trust your intuition, right? You may start to overthink or second guess, but you know what you should do. The thing that's stopping you from doing it is fear, whether that's fear of being judged, whether that's fear of failing, whether that's fear of, I don't know, going broke. Like, we can come up with fears all day, but there's fears within you that's keeping you from doing the very thing that's going to change your life. And this video is not me telling you to quit your job. That's not what I'm telling you to do. When I quit, times were different. Okay, COVID was going on. Everybody was at home. I was able to collect unemployment. There were stimulus checks going on. So there's so much going on back then that's not going on today. So I'm not telling you to quit your job. But what I am saying is you can't allow people and their opinions of you or what you want to do dictate how you live your life. We only get one life, okay, not 10. Some of y'all act like you get life after life after life. No, you don't. You get one. And it would be so unfortunate to live your entire life not doing what you wanted to do because you were so worried about what other people were going to think about you. And the crazy thing is these people that we worry about, they're not even paying our bills. How much do they pay on your rent every month? Because if it's not even 25%, why do you care? How much do they have on that car note that's coming up? How much they got on your lights? Did they make sure you ate today? No. Most of the time the answer is no. But you let these people who don't play any role in your life deter you from things that could change your life for the better. And that's something you got to get out of. And I don't think any amount of videos is going to get you out of it. I think there's more inner work that you have to do. That's more becoming confident in who you are and recognizing that you always find a way. And, you know, that's something too that I think a lot of times we sell ourselves short. And it's crazy because we've gotten ourselves out of really tough times. You know, no one's life is perfect. Okay, everyone's gone through stuff, really bad stuff, right? But you overcame it. There were things that happened and you had no clue how you were going to get over it, but you did. You could have been broker than broke. You probably may have not known where your next meal was coming from. You may have not known how you were going to get to work. You might not have known how you're going to get another job, but you got one. Life's. Life's. No one's life is perfect, and we've all had times in life that were extremely hard, but you got through it. And it's so crazy because you've already proven to yourself that you are more than capable of getting yourself through things, but you will still doubt your ability to make the right decision for you and your life. And that's crazy. And that's why I say I don't think any amount of YouTube videos is going to fix that for you. That's going to require inner work. That's going to require counseling. That's going to require self-trust. Now, I've always been someone who's extremely ambitious. I've never been the person who just sits in their struggle, if that makes sense. Like, I'm sure we all know someone who is broke and they know they're broke and they're just cool with being broke. Like, it doesn't stop them from sleeping. They still get up and play video games, right? They're still going to scroll on their phone. I've never been that person. That's a totally different type of person. We're not cut from the same cloth. I'm the person that if I'm broke, I'm not sleeping until I figure something out, right? And I already knew that I had those qualities so that when I did quit my job, I knew that even if things go completely south, I know the type of woman I am and I know I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to make something shake. Like, that's just how I've always been. And if you're anything like me, then you've probably proven that to yourself more than once. So you already know that you are capable of making decisions that will change and enhance your life. But you will still second guess whether or not that's the right decision to make because you put way too much pressure on yourself to make the right decision, and then you just stay stuck in this loop of wanting to do something but you're not doing it because you care what people think, but you don't want to care what people think, but you still do, and then you waste 5 more years doing absolutely nothing. That's so sad. That is so sad. And I'm so thankful that I didn't consult people before I put in my 2 weeks. And I used to always consult, like even before I bought my house, I asked people at my job if they thought I could afford the house. That doesn't even make sense. It doesn't even make sense. I'm telling you, in my 20s, I was lost. I was a lost soul. I was literally asking my coworkers if they thought that I could afford the house that I was going to buy. We listen, we don't judge. But the point I'm making is I could never make life decisions without consulting other people. But I knew deep down inside that I couldn't stay at that job and I didn't want another job. And I had to go. I knew that. And so I trusted myself enough to put in my 2 weeks and not renege it, right? I kept it in the pot and I left. I stood 10 toes down. I left, and it's been smooth sailing from there. And I'm so thankful that I did that for myself. That was by far the best decision I ever made for my life. So if you're struggling with making decisions for yourself, again, deep down inside, you know what you should do. If you got away from other people, maybe you can't sit in your house in quiet and be still, but maybe you can sit in your car and be still. Maybe you can go to the park or just go somewhere away from other people. Don't be on your phone. Don't be watching YouTube videos. Just sit there. And it might take several days or several weeks to figure out what's best, but the answer always comes to you. The only reason why you don't move when the answer does come to you is because you live in fear. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. I can't wait to read what you guys have to say. Also, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Join the Patreon. The link is down below. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.